April your Sumanduran, aka April month. So today I'm going to make a video tutorial all about the parabola. So let's get started. So circle, parabola, ellipse and hyperbola are called the connect section. So what is connect section? Connect section is the intersection of a plane and the right circular cone, depending on the angle of the plane with respect to the cone. So since I'm going to make a video tutorial all about the parabola, so let us know first what is a parabola. So what is a parabola? Well, a parabola is a set of points that are equidistant from a point which we call the focus and a line which we call the directrix. So parabola's theorem, an equation of the parabola having its focus at P0 and its directrix, the line y is equals to P, is y squared is equals to 4px, which is our parabola opens to the left or to the right. And then x squared is equals to 4py, which is our parabola opens upward or downward. So here are the 4 remarks that you need to know. And now, when can we use this? Well, we can use to mark 1 if our vertex is at the origin and its standard equation is y squared is equals to 4px. And we can use to mark 2 if our vertex is also at the origin and its standard equation is x squared is equals to 4py. And we can use to mark 3 if our vertex is not at the origin and its standard equation is x minus h quantity squared is equals to 4p times y minus k. And we can use to mark 4 if our vertex is also not in the origin and its standard equation is y minus k quantity squared is equals to 4p times x minus k. So I have an example problem here. So it's gonna be find the vertex, focus, equation of the directrix, and equation of the axis and the length of the lattice rectum of the given parabola. Sketch the graph. So our problem will be x squared plus 32y equals to 0. So first, we need to determine is this graph gonna be opening left or right or up or down. Well, we notice that this equation has x squared. Well, y squared is the one that's opening right or left. And now we have x squared, so our parabola will be opened upward or downward. And then since it's x squared, so our standard equation will be x squared equals to 4py, right? And we all know that this standard equation is in the remarks 1. So, and the next thing that can help us determine whether our parabola will be opened upward or downward is we need to find the p. If we can determine what our p value is that we can now determine also the focus, vertex, and other properties of our parabola. So to find our p value, okay, wait. So we will first gonna rewrite this problem into our standard equation. So it's gonna be x squared equals to to negative 32y. So here, this is equals to this, right? Because they are in the same position, right? So it's gonna be 4p is equals to negative 32. So since the numerical coefficient of the variable p is 4, we need to divide it both sides by 4 so that p will be remain. So cancel this out. It's gonna be p, and negative 32 divided 4 is negative 8. So this is now the value of our p. So our p is negative 8. So remember, the remark that we are going to use is the remark 1. So it's gonna be our vertex. So since it's remark 1, so we all know that our vertex is at the origin. So it's gonna be 0, 0. And we all know that our focus is 0 and p. So it's gonna be negative 8. So our directrix is gonna be y in our negative p. So it's gonna be negative 8. So we all know that negative times negative is positive. So it's gonna be y is equals to positive 8. So now, so our axis of parabola will be x equals to 0. And the last one is the length of our lattice rectum is gonna be the absolute value of 4p. So the absolute value of 4, and our p is negative 8. So it's gonna be negative 32. So since it is absolute value, there is no negative in absolute value. It's always a positive. So it's gonna be 32, right? So since we have all these properties, we can now sketch the graph. So in sketching the graph, I will just approximate it. So it's gonna be here. This is our x-axis. This is our x-axis, and this is gonna be our y-axis. So since we all know that our vertex is at the origin, so it's gonna be here, our vertex. So next, our focus is 0, negative 8. So it's gonna be somewhere here, right? So it's gonna be somewhere here. This is our focus. And then the next thing is our directrix. And we all know that our directrix is positive 8. So it's gonna be somewhere here, right? It's gonna be like this. So now, our lattice rectum tells us how wide our parabola is. So it's gonna be positive 2. So positive 2 divided 2 is equals to 16, right? So it's gonna be 16 here and 16 here. So approximating lang. So we approximate that positive 16 is gonna be here, right? And our negative 16 is gonna be here. So I am just approximating the distance. So this is not the perfect distance though, but I am sure this is what it looks like. I am just approximating our distance. So it's connected, so it's gonna be here, and here. So this is now what our parabola is. So we are done sketching now the graph, and we are done solving our or finding our properties, and this is our solution. And that's all for today's video. I hope you learned something, and if you like this video, give it a massive thumbs up. Mauning akong kanta para